Meanwhile, the California wildfires have created another challenge for the struggling entertainment industry. Julia Borston joins us now with more. Good morning, Julia.
Good morning, Robert. Well, the fires wrought massive damage on communities with high concentrations of Hollywood workers, raising questions about what's next for the entertainment industry, as it has already been struggling with a contracting box office, down more than 23% last year from 2019, plus cord cutting putting pressure on the TV business. And it comes after work stoppages from the pandemic and then from the writers and actors strikes. Now, a range of sources are telling me about the long, costly road to rebuilding the Palisades in Altadena and are talking about how, with people struggling to find long-term rentals, both above and below the line workers could look to leave the area, which could further accelerate production declines. Last year, the amount of production in L.A. declined nearly 6% from the prior year, giving last year the lowest amount of annual production in the L.A. area ever, behind only 2020, when production slowed dramatically because of the pandemic. Production has moved to Georgia, New York, and overseas to states and countries with more tax incentives. Now, to battle that trend, California Governor Gavin Newsom last year proposed more than doubling California's film incentive from $330 million to $750 million. That tax incentive is on track to go into effect July 1st. The head of California's Film Commission, Colleen Bell, telling me that this program is particularly meaningful because of the trickle-down effect to the communities, such as those impacted by the fire. The LA County Economic Development Corporation estimates that every tax credit dollar going into production drives more than $24 of economic activity. So that push to draw production back to LA seems more important now than ever. Robert?
I was talking to a filmmaker who's doing some films in New Jersey, and those tax incentives have gotten so generous that you're almost guaranteed a profit now if you make a film in Bayonne, New Jersey. I wonder at what point you think the costs and the incentives could get so large in some of these states, especially California, which has a budget issue right now, where there could be some political backlash, or whether you're hearing any of that.
Well, look, I think the real question is making sure to tie the incentives to the outcome, saying that keeping production here or drawing production back to California is going to be beneficial not just for the entertainment industry, but for the broader economy, not just for the costumers and editors, but will also drive more revenue for all of these small businesses like caterers and florists. So I think that's really the argument. And one of the questions is sort of, where is there a base of workers who can do these film industry jobs? A lot of these are very specialized. We know that in Georgia, because of the film tax incentives there's a big base of film workers. We have Tyler Perry, who has his big studio there. And I think the question is not just, are there tax incentives, but does it make sense for the studios to do production in these different states and countries? I think that right now, part of the question is, where does it make sense financially when it comes not just to the tax incentives, but also where does the talent want to be? One reason we're seeing so many shows and films shoot here in the LA area is because you have movie stars saying, I've got to be in LA. I'm only going to shoot this TV show if it could be close to home. And I think that's part of it as well. But I think we're going to hear more and more about the financial advantages of these tax incentives, that it's not a loss. It actually ends up being a win for the state. And I think there's going to be a lot of argument over that.
No, and also you made a really good point about the labor pool and what's happening with rents in L.A. and that rebuilding process, and the fact that a lot of people may just move. We're already hearing people move from California to Florida. So, Julia, thanks so much for the update. We appreciate it.